How's it going, my people? This is Eric with the Pound for Pound Boxing Channel. We're going to get straight into it. Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul will be going down tomorrow night in Miami in a real sanctioned pro fight, meaning it's going to go on both of these men's records. Anthony Joshua obviously being the favorite, gold medalist, accomplished fighter, two-time division world heavyweight champion. Jake Paul, novice fighter, only fights bums or old men or UFC fighters. Nonetheless, he still has props because he is going to be facing Anthony Joshua in the ring. Let me get it started. Everybody's already making the excuses. Oh, this is a rigged fight. This is already AJ signed the deal and Jake Paul's going to get this knockout. Cut that crap out, okay? And I'll tell you why. First reason is AJ is not just your average fighter. This man carries himself with respect and dignity. This guy didn't just build a whole legacy fighting people like Klitschko, Joseph Parker, Andy Ruiz, all these greats like Usyk just to lose to a YouTuber. You guys really think this guy is going to disrespect the sport? If you guys don't pay attention, Anthony Joshua follows the sport so much compared to a lot of other fighters. So that's reason number one. Reason number two, I honestly don't think Jake Paul's fixed any of his fights. And the reason I say that is because you see that the man's actually training. The man's actually sparring heavyweights like Jared Anderson, like, Frank Sanchez, the Cuban Flash. He fights all these great fighters. And yes, I know, like I said, the lack of opponents, he's been fighting old men and YouTubers. I understand it. But today he will be testing himself. Now we got to pay some type of respect. My opinion, this is a cash grab. Of course, both men know that they're going to be making the bag, but nonetheless, it's going to be a real fight. Look what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou a while back where he knocked him out within 2 rounds. I honestly believe that Jake Paul knows what he's doing. You see, we call it the WWE method. The Jake Paul is everybody's heel. Nobody likes Jake Paul. Everybody wants to see him get knocked out, especially after what he did to Uncle Mike, right? Well, guess what? After tomorrow, we know how it's going to go down. Anthony Joshua's going to give him a knockout. Nonetheless, AJ, Jake Paul might run around. I give it 3 rounds max. But Anthony Joshua will get the job done. And in my opinion, this is a perfect way for Jake Paul to go from heel to hero. He'll make people realize I'm just a normal kid that came from doing YouTube, a suburban white boy, to now fighting one of the best heavyweights of our generation and having the courage to do it. He's going to say he's standing up for the children. He's standing up for those who don't have a voice and for those that just live off a dream. He's the perfect paperboy child for the American people and boxing that just want to dream like they, dream like any average person, right? That's the story Jake Paul's going for. The money's still going to be there for him afterwards. He can still make fights with, KSI, Andrew Tate, all these fighters. But this is the highest level he might step up unless Uncle Canelo wants to come back and give Jake Paul a fight, which we'll get into in another video. Now, going back to what's going to happen tomorrow night. This is exactly how I see it. Jake Paul's best option is no option. Run away, stay out Anthony Joshua's range, which is kind of impossible because you can only move so much. And we've seen Jake Paul's last couple fights with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He's been using more foot movement, which is good. It might help him. And we do know he might be faster on his feet than Anthony Joshua. But again, AJ being experienced, being a two-time gold medalist, it ain't going to be easy for Jake Paul at all. So I think Jake Paul's going to come out with a lot of nervous energy. I think you're going to see it in his face during the walkout. You're going to see it in the first round. He's just going to be jittering, right? A lot of people a lot of time like to do that little pendulum step. Well, Jake Paul's going to, he's going to try to do that, but it's going to look a lot more, climatic, a lot more like a chicken running away. I think AJ's going to, there's 2 ways he comes out. It's either he's going to come out swinging for the fences, he's going to just try to knock him out right away, which personally I would love to see, blow him out of the water as fast as you can, or he's going to come out a little patient, just like he did with Ngannou. Look for that perfect shot because he knows Jake Paul, he overextends and he never brings his hand back. Jake Paul's been getting better, but he still does a lot of fundamental mistakes. So there's 2 ways that AJ comes into that first round. Nonetheless, I think it goes past 1 round. I think the first round is going to be just, Jake having a lot of nervous energy, trying to clinch up as soon as he can. AJ maybe laughing at him a little bit just because he's in there with literally a novice. After that, Jake Paul in the second round, he's going to try. He's going to try to throw a couple overhand rights if he dares. I think he's going to try to set the momentum. He's going to try using a little bit of feints, and we might, give Jake Paul a round. It's crazy, but we might just give it to him just because he's a little bit, more active. He's being a little, He's taunting a little bit, you know, kind of like Tyson Fury did against Usyk in that first fight, where many gave Tyson Fury all the round, even though he just got the round for taunting. I think Jake Paul might steal a book from that. But this is the way I see it. Either the end of the second or the beginning of the third, Anthony Joshua will connect with the right hand or an uppercut. That right uppercut is lethal, and Jake Paul is perfect when he leaps in with that overhand right. He goes down, he dips on it. That's a perfect setup for Anthony Joshua to land that big uppercut. I do pray that Jake Paul doesn't come out hurt. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's human. He's collecting a bag. He's, getting a lot of fighters paid on that undercard. So I don't want nothing bad to happen, but I do want to see his head literally get knocked off his shoulders, if you know what I'm saying. At the end of the night, AJ is going to get his hand raised. AJ is going to go into fighting Fury next year, and Jake Paul is going to end up being a hero. Like I said, he's going to take that defeat on the chin, and he'll be back in a couple months. Nonetheless, let me know what you guys think about the fight tomorrow night. Am I wrong? Do I know anything about boxing? I don't know. You guys test my IQ up in the comments. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. My name's Eric. I'm with the P4P Boxing channel. Hit like, share, and subscribe, and we're out.